What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 here, back for another video review. This time it's Star Ace Leonidas, and you can pre-order this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below. Yes, you heard me, it said pre-order. I know this figure has been released for about 2 years now, but I don't know, for some reason they're taking orders, and I'm happy because I got one, so I guess they're still producing some, and I'm glad, because this is one of my sought after figures, and some people have this on their grail. As we know, Hot Toys has released their own version, but that was years ago. So now if you're planning to pick up one, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I don't know, like some of them go as high as like $600, which is I believe it's not worth it for a figure that's 10 years old. But I mean, for if it was regular price, maybe around 200, 250, sure, why not? But it has its own set of problems compared to the Star Ace one. As you can see here, the box is tremendous. The inside flap, it says, "For tonight we dine in hell." So as always, their box is always terrific. As going back, I wish I have a comparison video, but I don't. And I'm glad that I still was able to pick this one up at a regular price. Moving on to the accessories, it only comes with one pair of hands. This is the accessory holding hand, so to speak. Weapon holding hands. It comes with the left and right. You can see there, fairly good detail. It comes with tons of accessories actually, which I'm really glad. I guess you can't really ask for more for Leonidas for how he is, in the movie. You can see a sheath in here made out of leather, really nice material that they used. I don't know if this is gonna, peel over time. Me personally, I haven't had any leather peeled for me, so but again, places with humid conditions might be in a different story. You got his sword, which is really nice paint application. I know my camera is gonna have some trouble focusing on this one because it's dark anytime that it's dark, but the paint application is really great. It gave you the impression that this is die cast, which it's not. But it's okay. It's as long as it's decent and decent made, so you can see there. And with weapons, I'm a bit, I don't know how I feel about diecast anyway. It doesn't really affect my decision whether it's diecast or not. But of course, diecast kind of gives you that authentic feeling compared to the plastic. But again, it kind of stretches out the joints. It's a bit heavy and all that stuff. So there's pros and cons about it. And you can see the handle, nice details. There's some sort of I don't even know what this is for. Some sort of a backpack, or I don't know, that he wraps around his shoulder. Is it for his shield? But it's being covered by I don't. He comes with this necklace, which is the saber tooth, I guess, or whatever it is that he was hunting. It's nice scale. However, I wish this was a bit heavier because it's made out of plastic. The reason for that is you'll see later on when I'm trying to, I'm focusing on the head. It's a bit of a weird fit because he does have this long beard, and it gets caught up, and because it's not heavy, it goes all over the place. That's why I wish there was a little bit more weight into it, so it would just kind of like, drape nicely into his chest. And as you can see here, he comes with 3 arrow tips. The one that kind of just went into his shield, and then he cuts it off. I love that scene. I always did. But yeah, there's opportunities that you can put it on the shield. Nice details as always, paint application there. And you would see how it kind of fits in. It's quite easy. I would suggest you read the manual as well. But yeah, you'll get the hang of it. And speaking of the shield, it's pretty much the same similar shield as Queen Gorgo, which is great. It's huge, it's light, it's made out of plastic. If you can just imagine if this was die cast, that's gonna be terrible as far as posing. There you go, you can fit the arrows, and I'm gonna pose him with the shield and this and the arrows on the shield later on as well. But yep, nice look that you can pull off right there. And on the back, that's where you're gonna insert the arm, that's kind of pleather thing. Just be careful, because in my Themistocles, I kind of messed it up and pulled it up. It's just glued on, so just be careful. And as far as the stand, kind of standard oval stand from it's the same stand basically for Themistocles, just 100 right there instead of Rise of the Empire. And I forgot to include this in the earlier section. This is his spear. Again, beautiful paint application, just plastic, but this spear is huge. It's long, so it's almost the same height as Leonidas. So I mean, you're gonna have pull off some nice poses in here. One thing I do like about the figure is that he's, you know, in his elbows there's a seam. You can see it as a positive or a negative. In my case, you know, at least I'm not gonna be worried, because I do want to display Leonidas in a more dynamic pose. Every once in a while, I'm more of a museum pose type of a guy. Not because a part of it is that I don't want to put, you know, stress into my figures, but at the same time, it saves space. You know, if you're trying to pose somebody dynamic, it occupies more space. But I have so many figures now that you know, space is a premium for me at this point. And one more accessory is his helmet. Really nice paint application as always. As you can see here, this is made out of a soft plastic. There's no you know, compared to Hot Toys, there's no kind of padding inside, those black paddings that they always include. I'm not even sure if that's a positive or a negative. At this point, it does nothing for the figure. I'm scared over time because Loki has that, and I'm afraid that over time, if you leave the helmet on for a long period of time, that eventually that black sort of a padding would, you know, deteriorate and, you know, just do a paint transfer to the head sculpt, which that would suck. But here, the inside is fairly painted, so even if it does, you know, do that, I don't think it's gonna do a transfer on the head sculpt anyway. Now, as far as the actual figure, you know, the body type, I've seen people complaining about the body type. I think it's just fine. Would I like them to use the Phison body? Perhaps, but I'm okay with the body that they used. You know, it might give you the impression that the head sculpt is large, but when you put the you know, the shield, and when you put every armor, because the head is there's a lot of things going on with his head sculpt. There's a huge beard. Maybe the shoulders could have been wider with this, but I don't know. Overall, I'm really happy. As you can see, the gauntlets, you know, the weathering effects, his trunks right there, it looks like pleather, but it's actually plastic, molded plastic. There's some rubber parts of his body. You can see the his shoes, and everything looks phenomenal as far as paint application is concerned. As far as the body, I still like it. You know, again, I don't mind the joints at all. I actually rather have him have those, at least not double jointed elbows, because that's just a sore eye as well. But this one jointed elbow, you can still pull off some dynamic pose without sacrificing too much aesthetics. And I put that on my other review that Star Ace makes the best, I would say, gap in the shoulders. You can still see it, but it's not as noticeable as Hot Toys or specifically Storm Collectibles when I reviewed that Mike Tyson. That was just terrible. Shoulder gap, as you can see here between the shoulders and his arm, there is a gap, but you can easily hide this if you want to. And also that thing on his shoulder also helps to hide that gap. So really, the one that you're only kind of dealing with is the one that's in his elbow. But then again, I don't really mind that whatsoever. But if you want to upgrade to Phison body, you could. But that's another, you know, you're gonna add that cost to this figure, and also the paint app might be different between his face and his body. So just keep that in mind, because I don't know, it just bothers me if the paint from the face or the neck just doesn't match the body. And as far as the head sculpt, he comes with two head sculpts. So this is the relaxed one, which I like the most. I think it captures the likeness of Gerald Butler completely. I can't speak for the Hot Toys version. I know there's a Mom Toys version, like a bootleg copy of Leonidas. This is a, you know, Star Ace has the franchise for 300, so you know, this is licensed, which is great. You know, if the Mom Toys, the last time I checked it on eBay, you can see that necklace right there. It's just terrible, and I fixed that before, you know, filming this, and I just kind of gave up. I think it's because the combination of the beard, His cape, it's just draping, in his collarbone. It's just a big mess. But yeah, you can see the likeness is pretty good in here. The jawline, I think they captured better, and especially once you put on the helmet. Oh my goodness, that is just Leonidas right there. That is beautiful. One thing that I did notice though is on the helmet that I have, the nose piece is a bit crooked. So I know some people, kind of drips it out, like put it on the hot water and then, shock it with cold water, so that's that way. But it's okay. I think a little bit futzing would do wonders here. But I'm overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. No, no regrets whatsoever. It's $235 before shipping, but shipping in Big Bad is $4, so it's what, $239. The killer is the tax. You gotta pay tax. At least the state where I'm in Illinois. We used to not pay taxes, but now we do. So it would come out to around $250, $260. In my opinion, you're still getting a big bang for your buck right there. And this is the second head sculpt, more dynamic, screaming, more emotional head sculpt. Let's say if you're trying to portray a battle scene or whatnot. I think the likeness of the calm head sculpt is a lot better. This one is still, you can still see Gerard Butler in there, but something's off, maybe in the cheeks, I don't know, and his eyes. It's very intense, he's shouting, he's ready to battle. The hair, sculpt is pretty well done. You can see, the tail part. You just gotta make sure that you don't tangle it up with his cape. But if I zoom in, which I didn't here, the tongue and the inside of the mouth is nicely textured. Paint application is terrific. It's still a pretty good sculpt, if I might add, especially when you put the helmet on. But my preferred look, just if you have to choose between the two, the calmer head sculpt I think has the more likeness. But once you put this helmet on, covers the cheeks, especially when you made him look down, you make him look down right there. Now it's Gerald Butler altogether. So, now you have this intense guy ready to do battle. Oh, man, I love that helmet. I wish it snows again. I'm pretty sure it's going to snow again this Saturday. And I'm going to put it in the snow and just try to take a photograph of this helmet in the snow. That is just, I don't know, just blabbering right now. But yeah, look at this view right here. It's just phenomenal, in my opinion. That's beautiful. Yeah, the paint application on this helmet is great. It gives you that impression that's metal. It's grungy. You can even see the sword, I believe, on the eye part of this helmet is there. But yeah, that is one intense look right there. Love that movie. That's why I couldn't wait to when I heard about Star Ace, I actually didn't hear about Star Ace not too long ago. And I didn't know they're making this awesome figures. This, if you haven't, I got the Pulp Fiction, so check it out. If you want to check a look at my channel, they have the, 300. They had King Kong, Skull Island as well. That one I didn't pick up, which I might pick up pretty soon as well. They make some good figures that, outside of Marvel, and they do that mostly in 1/9, but. Go check out, Flash and Arrow, if you haven't heard about them. I'm sure you have, but, go check out my review. And this is him. I'm going to put him in some few poses before I wrap this thing up. The beauty about 300 is it has a specific look. Like what I do here now, I do apologize in advance if your monitor is a bit dark, because I'm trying to recreate that Zack Snyder look, high contrast, reds are just deep. And then the shadows are a bit darker, highlights are high. But when you're trying to photograph this figures, your imagination just kicks in. Even on videos, the one that I'm doing now, it's just it gives the creative side of you to play around, tell a story, or create that certain look or feel of the movie. Like right here, he's covering his neck part and he's holding his spear. There's a bit of limitations obviously if you're in a video, but just taking photographs, if you have like a green screen, or even if you don't, just a plain background that you can isolate your subject like him, you can do wonders, and it's gonna be so much fun, especially for him, because like I mentioned earlier, there's specific looks for this figures that, this movies that Zack Snyder always uses. So you can apply them, you know, if you want to put that on in your Instagram or whatnot. Yeah, I love this figure. This is one problem I had with his helmet, as you can see on the back. The mohawk part, I don't even know what you call that. That hairy part of his helmet is a mess. You can see there, it's all over the place. I'm sure you can fix it, maybe with a gel or something like that, but I never really want to mess with my figure's hair or whatever, like, you know, anything like that. Because I'm afraid that I'm gonna do a permanent damage on it. Even though with this guy, I don't see myself selling this unless there's another company or Star Ace releases one more Leonidas that is way, just way better than this one. Maybe a body that you're not, you know, silicone body that you're not going to be afraid to pose for a long time because it's not going to deteriorate, you know, something like that. And one more pose here. Oh my god, I love the scene where the arrows just rained, starts hitting their shields and then just cut it off. You know, you can put them in this you know, different poses, especially when you're just taking a picture. You know, like, the problem with this is that, you know, it's nice to pose him like this too in your cabinet. It's just that the arrows is not purely secured, or maybe I just didn't push it all the way down onto the shield. But yeah, there's always you know, this uneasiness that once you put him in there and then you open and close the door of your detolf, it would fall off. And since it's tiny, you might forget about it, you might get lost over time. But as far as taking pictures, you know, I mean, you can be as creative as you want to. It's a beautiful scene. It just tells a story, in my opinion. Here, he should be holding actually his sword, because that's where he cut off. I believe this is I believe he used his sword. But in here is just size comparison, along with Artemisia of the 300 Rise of the Rice something, and then our Themistocles. Can't pronounce that name, man. Themistocles here. As you can see here, they use different bodies, so no one can accuse Star Ace now of recycling bodies. Two different bodies. You can see the abdominal section of Leonidas is a bit different, and I think that he's shorter as well, Leonidas, compared to General Themistocles. Different shield. Sword is pretty much the same. Of course, the way that their cape is draping it's blue and red, but it's two different styles. Themistocles is more like one-sided, while Leonidas is more draping in the middle. And you can see our Artemisia is just like a short figure on the side. And that is it, folks. You know, I would highly recommend you pick up this figure. I might be a little biased here because I love the movie. It's a mindless violence movie. You know, it depends on your taste. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people hate Zack Snyder. I personally don't mind his movies. It's entertaining for me. Especially this movie. It's one of those things where it's one of those movies where, you know, if you're feeling down, you want to hit the gym, and you know, you just need something to boost you up, just pop this in, and your testosterone level obviously just goes out by itself. But outside of that, you know, I love the look. Decent accessories. The price is not too bad. So I do highly recommend you getting this. And you know, if you're going to, just click the link down below, Big Bad Toy Store. You know, $4 shipping. So you know, instead of going to eBay and, you know, just buying this for inflated price. So once again, thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I would see you guys in the next review.